Alright everyone, welcome to Street City Studio. I'm John, and in this video I kind of want to talk a little bit about my West Coast Avengers figures. Now this I'm just being a little silly. If you know, you know. If you don't, too bad. It's just a little joke. But like I said, I want to talk about some West Coast Avengers. With a lot of the figures I've been picking up lately, from my brother and even on my own, separate from the figures my brother gave me, but definitely including some of these figures my brother gave me. As I was going through my shelf and kind of moving figures around to sort them out, organize them into groups like X-Men and Avengers, I started realizing I had enough figures to really separate out a nice little West Coast Avengers. And so I thought, well, let's take a look at those figures. That's a great thing to make a video about, I thought, right? And so let me get out of there. I'm not a West Coast Avenger yet, so let me get out of there. Oh, excuse me. But I guess we'll start probably right here with Iron Man. It's a great place to start. And I got the Silver Centurion is probably, I want to say the most, but if not the most, it's definitely one of the most recognizable and iconic Iron Man suits. And so anytime you see it, or at least for me, there's this direct connection to the West Coast Avengers, right? Because there was a time where that was the Iron Man for the West Coast Avengers, right? And even the movies, and that's why I'm pulling these guys in here, right? Even the movies and the movie toy line paid a lot of homage to the Silver Centurion armor, and we got several silver accented variations, right? From the briefcase armor that was very inspired by the Silver Centurion, right? And that briefcase armor, man, that was several iconic armors rolled into one, really. They used that opportunity to do the Silver Centurion on screen, right? But it was also an opportunity to do the briefcase armor that was really made iconic in the cartoon, right? And that Iron Man cartoon, especially in the intro, even if you didn't watch the cartoon a lot, you would catch the intro sometimes, right? And see him armoring up, or even in the commercials and stuff, in the trailers and stuff, you would see him armoring up. So even if you weren't necessarily watching Iron Man stuff, that was something visually that, became familiar. And so they squeezed it all in there just for that one armor, to have several Easter eggs in the one armor. And I thought that was pretty cool. So the Silver Centurion armor is definitely a must-have. And he's got this one, I don't know. I don't even think it's coming across on camera, but there's a little bit of yellowing to his arms and legs. And I was kind of thinking about peroxiding him, but I don't want to have any fading on this red. So it's not bad enough that I was there yet. I might try to tape off the red, but it's still a really great looking figure. And like I said, you can hardly tell unless you're really looking for it, right? We'll pull in next here. Maybe War Machine, because Rhodey was the one in the Iron Man suit for quite a bit, right? that was part of the point of West Coast Avengers and the different suit, I think, was just so you kind of knew that was the birth of War Machine and Rhodey wearing his own suit, right? And this is another great figure, especially with these blast effects. Let me try and tip up so we can get all of it. There we go. Alright, but them blast effects are great. Can have it blasting just the one or just the other or neither, right? If you want them kind of standard, right? That's one of the things I love. And I would probably pose them like this up on my shelf. But I always worry about losing this stuff. And for pictures, man, these are great. I love to be able to pop these on. I wish every gun, right? They shouldn't have a toy for these, at least for adult figure. You know, I understand for a $10 line, like the Epic Heroes and stuff. But for these adult collector lines, for $20, $30 figures or whatever, right? There shouldn't be a gun that doesn't come with a muzzle flash. A removable muzzle flash, just like that, right? Or if it's a rocket launcher, right? A little rocket fire. It's that simple. These aren't expensive pieces to make, I think. These are just simple, cheap little pieces, right? Most of the time with no paint, right? These got a little bit of paint on these rockets, but I don't even know that was necessary exactly, right? But man, those pieces really make this guy stand way above everybody else. All right, look how cool that is. But next up, we'll go with another Ironed Avenger, right? Another Armored Avenger, right? He's on again, off again, West Coast Avenger, right? He's not always on the team, but Darkhawk has been on the West Coast Avengers, right? And now I liked Darkhawk from the New Warriors. That's where I always knew Darkhawk from. I always liked Speedball and Night Thrasher, Darkhawk. I always liked that book when I was around that age, I guess. I was, 17, I guess, when I was reading a lot of New Warriors. 18, 19. I guess I felt like I was around the same age as characters like Speedball or whatever. Right? Another part-timer, right? He feels like he's gonna fall over now. There we go. Another part-timer, right? When he feels like it. On again, off again, Moon Knight. I don't particularly think of him as a Avenger or a team player for that matter, right? I don't even know that I've really read books with him on the Avengers team. But I know he has been on the team at times. So he's here. I have the figure. I figure I'd throw him in. Right. Now, I keep skipping over this figure, so I'm going to just pull the trigger and do it, right? I keep skipping over him. Oh, I knew he was going to fall over. Put him back here, so if he does fall over, he falls by himself. Yeah, he's not going to stand. I'm not going to play with it, right? Oh, there goes his crossbow. Everything's falling. It is what it is. Let's just keep rolling, right? I'm still looking for his guns, his pistols, and I have tons of pistols, so It takes a minute, right? But I want to find the right ones. I'm sure they're here. But if they aren't, I'll just give him any old pistols. But I got his crossbow, his little pistol crossbow. And that thing's so cool. I almost took it for my John figure and gave it to my John figure just because I really do like that. Stick it in John's hand for a few minutes here. Alright, look at that. Careful, you're going to put somebody's eye out with that thing. But for Hawkeye, I don't really think this is the appropriate Hawkeye for this team. So he's kind of a stand-in. At the moment, all I have is a movie Hawkeye and this Ultimate Hawkeye. But I do have these Hawkeye heads. Right, I've got the classic Hawkeye here. Let's see if I can get this to focus in. Yeah, kind of. There we go. Very classic Hawkeye. And then I believe this is the Dark Avengers Hawkeye. Right. See if I can get that to focus in. There we go. Right. But I'm pretty sure that's an evil smile. So that's Dark Avengers Hawkeye. But there's some options if I wanted to do some customs here in the near future. I was considering it because I definitely could use a classic Hawkeye with his Batman-esque or his Wolverine-esque mask, right? I never hated it or thought it was too goofy, but I kind of get that it is, right? And I love this design, this look. Right? I wouldn't have minded something like that coming into the films, right? That's a simple design, a simple mask. All right, nothing too overtly superhero-y, right? Just some stylized looking spy, right? Crossbow instead of heavy machine gun or whatever. But anyways, those are some options I'm looking at, right? The two. And who we'll do next? We'll go in. We won't spend too much time on Hercules, but Hercules is definitely one of the on again, off again Avengers, but he's always kind of related to the Avengers in some way, right? He's always been around the background of the Avengers, kind of just like the whole point of the West Coast Avengers, right? They had an overspill of extra Iron Men and extra Hulks, right? And that's kind of what it was. It was a good place for these characters who weren't your main characters. He wasn't Hulk. He wasn't Tony, you know. He wasn't Captain America, right? But they were, and actually, speaking on that, right? Who else we got here? He wasn't Captain America, right? And that's the whole point of the team, is these kind of backup players, these second rung heroes, right? Your second choice Iron Man, your second choice Hulk, right? I'll keep moving here. I got now I will say before I keep it moving here, I'm a big fan of U.S. Agent, and I liked what they did in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. That was all real cool stuff. I think they did a good job on John Walker, right? Making him come off as not quite Captain America to a point where you don't like him. But then by the end, it's his differences from Captain America that kind of make him stand out and appealing, right? They did a good job with that. They really did. I'd like to point out, too, I don't know how many of you guys have really played with this shield, but man, this thing's wild. Maybe I haven't read enough comics with this thing in it, because I wasn't real familiar with it at first, and I'm still probably not. But even this star comes off. I don't know if you guys know that. I know when I first got it, I didn't know that. Takes a second. There it goes. There it goes. Right? That star comes right off of there. Like it's supposed to be something he can throw or shoot. I don't know. I can't remember. I had looked it up years ago. But this thing's wild. I don't know what to do with it. Right? I just kind of put it on his back or put it on his arm and treat it like a normal shield. But I feel like if I knew what it did better, if I understood it better, maybe I could play with it better. I feel silly even saying that. But it's a cool look. I love this shield. I just wish I understood some of this better with it. How to pose it. Now that's probably what I'm gonna do when I get off of here now, is go look up this shield and try and get a better grasp on it, because I'm talking about it so much. I didn't realize I was so uneducated about it until I started talking about my lack of understanding about it. Right? I'm gonna keep moving here with another, right? Spider-Woman, right? Not Spider-Man, right? Not Captain America, not the Hulk, not Iron Man. Right? We got Spider-Woman. I always like this look. I like that there was an animated, oh man, I can't remember what it was even called now. There's an animated thing where she was fighting a Skrull invasion or whatever, and that was pretty cool. Me and my daughter watched that a couple times years ago. She got a kick out of that too back then. But I can't keep up with this character. She's had so many retellings of her origins and changes, retcons, and reworkings. Her look seems to stay the same, but her story evolves too much. I can't keep up. But we'll move right on here to Wasp, right? And I got the little one too, but I'm not even going to pull that out because that thing's so tiny. I feel like I'm going to lose it or break it. I just want to keep it put away until I can put it somewhere nicer permanently, right? Put it on a shelf permanently. But this shelf, I feel like it'll just fall off and I'll never see it again, or it'll fall off and I'll step on it, you know? I need like a glass case, like with a door on it, something that closes. If it falls, it ain't going nowhere, you know? But I really like this Wasp. Ooh, figure. I like the wings on this figure because they're so poseable, right? Oh, I'm so clumsy this video, isn't I? Right? But I really like the range on these wings. I like the look of them, but the look ain't nothing without some movement, right? If I couldn't pose them, it wouldn't matter too much. We wouldn't be talking about them, but they go up and down, they go in and out, like that. Right? So, you got some range with them, man, and oh, that's my biggest complaint. Anytime you move them, they're gonna fall out. Right? If you move them this way, it's gonna, see, came right out. If you move it this way, it's coming right out. And I guess that's better than having them static and locked in place, right? Just like that little one. The little one I kind of understand because it's so small. You ain't going to give it articulation like this. But I'd rather have them falling out once in a while when I move them than not be able to move them. So I'll take it. I'll take what I can get sometimes. You gotta know when to pick your battles and stuff. Now, just like Hawkeye, right? I have some options because this is kind of the figures that I've got here, right? I've got some other Avengers on the shelf that I'm not pulling in for this. But these are the main West Coast Avengers that I'm working with here. And I do have some other options now, especially from this fodder my brother gave me. And I'm still going through it. Still go through and find stuff that I didn't notice. It's just so much, that you can sift through it and pull stuff out. But having sifted through it several times now, with varying success each time, right? I found this Hank Pym head, and that's awesome. And I was thinking about trying to find some sort of brown button-up adventurer costume like you'd wear, right? Or even if it's not brown, but, maybe like some sort of G.I. Joe grunt or officer or something with the button-up and a collar, right? Maybe a General Hawk or something. Just paint it all brown. But I know there was a good time where he went by the Dr. Pym, and he was just kind of like a civilian consultant or whatever, and that'd make a good figure for this. I just gotta find the right parts. And another one that I thought was really interesting was this other Spider Woman, and this one's missing its hair. But I mean, that's a pretty unique head. I can throw some hair on it. And I don't even want to act like I've got a lot of extra hair. But I do have some options, I think. No. I have some somewhere. Oh. Where is it? There it is. I was going to say, like this Thor, I could maybe boil that head and pull that hair right off of that head, right? And then stick that hair on there. Right? And I got a couple figures like that with some hair that I might be able to pull off of them. And I definitely have some female Marvel torsos here from old custom attempts and stuff. So those are both members that I could really use on this team here, right? Both of them were West Coast Avengers. Another head I have here is Dark Beast. And now I was thinking about making this blue and making a Beast figure. And technically, while he's an X-Men, he was an Avenger as well. And I'm trying to recall, was he a West Coast Avenger or was he a mainline Avenger? I can't remember right now. I know Thing, right? Where is he? Right, Thing was a West Coast Avenger once or twice, I think. There was a short period, right? Now I'm trying to think if there was others. Who else? Did I miss? I don't know. I might have missed some. But the whole point was just to kind of take a look at some of these and see how many I'm getting here. They're starting to build up. right? That's enough to start calling it a team, isn't it? That's not just like 3 figures. When it's just like 3 or 4 figures, I really don't like saying, "Oh, look, I got a team," right? But when you get 5, 6, yeah, you can definitely start separating those off on the shelf from the others. Right? And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm pushing these guys off to the right. I'll have the mainline Avengers kind of next to them, right? Pushed up next to them. And then work my way towards the X-Men on the left. Right? X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor. Right? Maybe I should do it the other way. Do Avengers on the left and X-Men on the right so that it's alphabetical order, right? A to Z, A to X. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know how that worked out in my head. I just kind of put them up there thinking, yeah, X-Men on the left and Avengers on the right. And as I went, I started separating the West Coast guys further to the right while the mainline Avengers kind of formed a line behind Nick Fury in the center, you know? But I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. Let me just do a running Kang outro here. Instead of bringing myself back in. But if you guys want to check me out on Facebook, follow me over there, John Wayna, Wayna. And please follow me. If we've never spoken before, don't send me friend requests over there. Follow me. You don't need my permission to follow me. And we don't need rapport. But I've been getting some friend requests from a lot of people I don't know. And so I just kind of wanted to point that out. Follow me, right? If we've never spoken or anything and you're interested in getting to know me, go over there and follow me. I don't mind that. That's what it's there for, right? And it's kind of like the middle ground where we start to get to know each other, I guess. But it's John Wayna, Wayna. If you want to check out my photography on Instagram, that's Street City Toys, not Street City Studio like the channel here. But otherwise, you guys have a great day. Keep playing with them toys, and I'll talk to you again real soon.